Ever wondered if the old nickels in your pocket could be worth a fortune? The Jefferson Nickel, first minted in 1938, looks ordinary, but some are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. From wartime issues to rare minting mistakes, a few dirty, rusty, or worn coins have shocked collectors with jaw-dropping auction prices. These coins prove that even the ugliest nickel can hide incredible value. Today, we'll uncover 5 Jefferson Nickels, each with a story of rarity, history, and pure luck. So before you toss that change aside, take another look. Your pocket might be holding a treasure. Let's begin with a piece of World War II history. The 1942 Jefferson Nickel without a mint mark, a coin once worth 5 cents, now valued at over $500,000. Our first coin takes us back to 1942, a year when the world was at war, and even U.S. coinage was changing. At first glance, the 1942 Jefferson Nickel without a mint mark doesn't look special. It's worn, maybe rusty, and seems like something you'd find at the bottom of a change jar. But collectors know better. This plain-looking coin has sold for over $500,000. Here's why. In 1942, nickel metal was needed for the war effort, so the U.S. Mint changed the coin's composition mid-year, replacing nickel with silver, copper, and manganese. But before the switch, a small batch of nickels was struck using the old material without any mint mark. Those early Philadelphia pieces became one of the rarest types in the Jefferson series. Over time, most were lost, worn down, or corroded. Finding one today, even in rough condition, is incredibly rare. Collectors search for details like Monticello's steps or tiny die markers that confirm authenticity. It's not about shine, it's about survival. Each 1942 no-mint mark nickel tells a story of America's wartime sacrifices and the changes that shaped its money. So next time you see a dull old nickel from 1942, take a closer look. That small piece of metal might just be worth $500,000. Next up is a coin from the 1960s, a time of change in America and in its money. The 1964 D Jefferson Nickel, struck at the Denver Mint, looks completely ordinary, dull, rusty, and well-used. Yet this unassuming 5-cent piece has reached prices over $589,000 at auction. So what makes it special? 1964 was the final year before the U.S. Mint overhauled its entire coin production process. Billions of nickels were made, but a few came out with rare die varieties and minting errors, tiny details like doubled letters or repunched mint marks. Most went unnoticed, but those with visible flaws became numismatic gold. Collectors love the 1964 D because it captures the end of an era. The design by Felix Schlag had already circulated for 25 years, and this Denver issue represents the transition between classic and modern minting. Even in rusty condition, a coin showing strong detail or a recognized mint error can skyrocket in value. In fact, many of the record-setting sales involved nickels that looked far from perfect. It's a perfect reminder, a little rust doesn't ruin rarity. Sometimes the damage tells the story. Decades of circulation, survival through time, and a glimpse of the minting quirks that make collectors go wild. So if you spot a grimy 1964 nickel with that small D under Monticello, take a closer look. You might be holding one of the most valuable Jefferson nickels ever made. Moving into the 1980s, we find a surprise. The 1985 P Jefferson Nickel, a coin that looks rough, scratched, and completely ordinary. Yet this bad condition nickel has sold for more than $271,000. How can something so modern and so beat up be worth that much? It comes down to rarity and minting mistakes. In 1985, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of nickels, but a few came out with unusual die varieties, doubling or weak strikes. These rare defects went unnoticed in circulate for decades. Collectors value the 1985 P because it marks the growing attention toward modern mint errors. Before the 1980s, collectors mostly chased older coins. But as technology improved, experts started spotting subtle design flaws in newer issues. And those became hidden treasures. Even when heavily worn, a genuine 1985 P error coin is extremely rare. Collectors look for repunched mint marks, slightly doubled dates, or even small alignment shifts. These imperfections, invisible to most people, are what turn a 5-cent coin into a 6-figure collectible. It's a great example of how age isn't everything in numismatics. A coin doesn't need to be ancient, it just needs to be different. So next time you find a dull, battered 1980s nickel, look closely at the P mint mark. If you spot something unusual, don't toss it aside. It might be worth far more than you think. Our next coin proves that even the dirtiest nickels can shine in value. The 1977 D Jefferson Nickel, struck at the Denver Mint, often looks rough, covered in rust, worn from decades of use, and seemingly worthless. But some of these nickels have sold for over $265,000. So what makes a 1977 coin so valuable? It's all about minting anomalies. During this era, the Denver Mint was producing huge numbers of coins, and minor errors occasionally slipped through. Things like doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or weak strikes. These tiny imperfections created rare varieties that collectors now hunt for. Even in rusty condition, a 1977 D with one of these unique traits can be incredibly valuable. Collectors don't just see rust, they see history. Every mark, every patch of discoloration tells the story of a coin that survived through inflation, circulation, and time itself. Design also plays a role. Felix Schlag's portrait of Jefferson and the detailed steps of Monticello help experts identify rare die types. A coin with sharp details or a known mint error instantly stands out, even if the surface is far from perfect. That's the beauty of numismatics. Imperfection can mean opportunity. The 1977 D Jefferson Nickel reminds us that rarity hides where most people never look, in the old, rusted coins we take for granted. So before you dismiss that dull 1970s nickel in your change, check for that small D mint mark and any strange details. One simple mistake from the mint could turn it into a collector's dream. Our final coin proves that even in the 21st century, hidden treasures still exist. The 2007 P Jefferson Nickel, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is a modern coin you could easily overlook. Dirty, tarnished, maybe even stuck to the bottom of your car cup holder. But believe it or not, some have sold for over $14,000. Why? Because a few 2007 nickels came out with rare disasters, errors and striking flaws that slipped past inspection. Tiny repunched mint marks, doubled letters, or small die cracks make these coins incredibly valuable to collectors. By 2007, coin collecting had entered the digital age, and hobbyists were using magnifiers and cameras to spot these microscopic differences. That attention turned ordinary pocket change into potential treasure. Even in bad condition, a 2007 P nickel with one of these rare features stands out. Collectors prize them not for their shine, but for their story. Proof that modern minting isn't perfect and that true rarity can appear anywhere. The design still honors Felix Schlag's legacy, Jefferson's portrait, and Monticello's classic outline. But what makes this coin special isn't beauty. It's survival and scarcity. So before you dismiss that grimy nickel from your loose change, check it carefully. One small error could turn it into a coin worth more than a car. The 2007 P Jefferson Nickel is the perfect reminder that rarity never goes out of style. That even the newest coins can carry incredible secrets. So there you have it. 5 Jefferson Nickels that prove even the dirtiest, rustiest coins can hide incredible value. From the wartime 1942 issue to the modern 2007 nickel, each of these pieces tells a story of history, survival, and pure luck. They weren't found in velvet cases or sealed collections. Many came straight from circulation, forgotten in drawers and jars. Yet, because of a tiny error, a rare minting detail, or simply their place in history, they became worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. These coins remind us of one simple truth. Value isn't always about perfection. Sometimes it's about the story, the journey a coin has taken through time. So next time you're sorting through your change, pause for a second. That worn nickel in your hand might not just be 5 cents. It could be a hidden chapter of American history or your ticket to a collector's fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare Jefferson nickels, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of hidden treasures, history, and the incredible world of coins. Because sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest surprises.